Roll for Initiative.
Roll for Initiative podcast, issue number 49. DM Vincent here, one of your hosts, along with DM Jason.
Howdy.
And DM Nick is here as usual. Nick, how are you this week?
Tired.
Yeah. Long week.
We had our gaming session last night.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It was good, I think we spoke about a couple months ago. Temple of Elemental Evil. They're doing that right now. I don't know if I mentioned it, but they're at the Moat House section of the adventure, and they ran into ghouls, zombies, couple of the brain eating kind, and a couple of ogres. Yeah. So it was a good time. Yeah. Still, brought the neighbor kid. He's totally into this now.
Well, there's brain-eating zombies. How can he not be?
Yeah.
I know. What is there not to like? So, yeah, it was a fantastic game last night. Real fun.
Well, sounds like a great time then. Cool.
Yep.
So let's take a minute to talk about a couple things coming up, such as Gen Con, because today was the registration for your games today. What a horrible experience I had with that today.
So, what was it worked good for me. What happened to you?
I got home at 12:15, first of all. That was my mistake, but anyway.
You mean today?
Yeah, today.
Like noon 15.
Noon 15 when when it opened up on May 1st. Mm-hmm. By the time people hear it, it'll be days after. But
yeah, I
get in. I have all my games set up on my wish list that I want.
Okay. Oh, good. So you did that ahead of time.
Yeah, I did that ahead of time because I didn't want to be like last year.
How long did it take you to make your wish list?
Probably about a half hour.
It took me seriously, I'm not even kidding, over 3 hours.
Wow.
But go ahead.
Wow.
I get in there, I finally get in after the whole time saying it's crashed, server error, unable to get in, because every geek in the world is trying to get in there.
Yep. And somehow they didn't plan for that, right?
Yeah, right.
Origins is the same way, happens all the time. Yeah.
So I go to the wish list. I'm like, all right, this should be easy process. It's like you're number 275 in line. I'm like, all right, that's not bad.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Pretty good.
I hit the button. I was literally watching the stopwatch, and I hit the button the second it came up, and I was number 840 in line.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice.
Dang.
So I sat there, I'm waiting, I started cruising around, looking over Dead Game Society, because I'm running some games for them.
Yep.
And then I get back and it said, it's been processed, please click to see the results. And it just says, ticket sold out, all the more grayed out. I was like, beep, 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 beep.
Such a bummer.
I got into 2 out of the 10 games that I picked.
What's some of the ones you did not get?
There was a couple first edition games I didn't get into.
Like which ones?
Oh, I don't remember the names offhand. One was Fire by something. It was something to do with a sword or something like that.
Well, yeah, there's some. I skipped the ones that were called The Story because I've played with that group before and it wasn't my flavor.
Right.
But I was really glad that there's one of the AD&D games I really wanted to get into, and that was one that Richard Meeks was DMing, and I got that. It was Assault on the Area of the Slave Lords. So
yeah, I saw that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Vince, you could always get generics and show up for those games. Generic tokens. Because I've never been to a game either at Gen Con or Origins where you had generics and they turned you away. I've never had that happen. They always try to accommodate you. So
well, I mean, if it's super popular and there's 12 people at the table already or something, I could see it. But you're right. I didn't get – so I did the same thing. I set up all of my stuff ahead of time. Mm-hmm. I had over 50 different things I was interested in.
Wow.
So I did this whole thing where I made a Google Calendar and I actually organized what was overlapping with what, and I prioritized. I'm like, well, if I don't get this, maybe I'll get that.
You're such a control
freak.
Really planned. You're such a control freak.
Well, I wanted to get the games I wanted, and so I got some of the ones I really wanted to do, like the Richard Meeks games.
Yeah.
I forget which other ones I got into, but the bummer was I did not get 2 of the Dead Game Society games that I really wanted.
Neither did I. I wanted the Marvel superhero ones they were running and the Top Secret one.
Well, Top Secret I had that first because, it lets you say what order to process them in. So I was like, if nothing else happens, I got to get into the Top Secret game because Chad is DMing it, and he is seriously one of the best DMs I've ever played with. So, I wanted the Top Secret and I wanted the Star Frontiers. So I just wrote to Chad and I was like, do you mind? I mean, can I come with a generic? Are you cool with it? So we'll see. if the table's too full, I'm going to totally understand.
Yeah,
But-
I'm hoping maybe he'll let me do the same thing, but I doubt it.
Well, it'd be cool if we can both play the top secret game. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll beg on our knees.
Wow, you,
'Cause
you can beg on
top
your
secret-
knees, and I'll just stand there.
But it's gonna be really good. It was tough to decide on some of them.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like I decided not to play the Dying Earth. There's only one Dying Earth game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I really wanted to play it, but it was going opposite of. I think the one that was going opposite was one I did get, and that's there's an AD&D game, first edition, where he's bringing copies of character sheets from Gary's collection.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I got one of those tickets.
Cool.
So pretty worth it.
I'm totally
give up.
like the opposite this year when it comes to registering for Origins. I haven't registered yet.
Yeah.
It's a little over a month away.
Well, I got my.
I'm like-
yeah. Sorry.
I'm just like, you know what? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just this year. I'm just getting generics. Because before, in the past, I would like, I want this game. I want to be in this one. I want this one. Maybe I'll eat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I remember to actually leave a little time to wander around and enjoy things.
Yes. I always got to leave at least an hour or two slot sometime to go to the dealer's area and
Yeah.
look around.
And
you got-
not on Sunday either.
Yeah, because it's just insane on Sunday because they're trying, which by the way is the best time to go because they're trying to sell all their stuff so they don't
Yeah,
have to bring it
it's
back
crazy.
with them. Usually get good deals on Sundays.
But I want to make sure that I have a little time to go through True Dungeon. I didn't do it last year. I did it the year before. It's expensive, but it's really fun.
Yeah, I've heard it's awesome. Everybody I know that's been through it.
And if I can get there's a miniatures class that I want to take on like advanced face painting and feathering and stuff it'd be kind of fun. But if I can't do that, I mean, I can go to Games Workshop sometime and find somebody really smart. And, it worked out for me though. I mean, I got mostly what I wanted. A couple of things I didn't. I hope to get in. And there was one other thing. There was a first edition Gamma World that I did not get a ticket for.
That would be fun.
I saw that. Yeah.
I don't know the DM or the GM. His name's Dirk Collins. So I sent him an email because he was nice enough to put his email on the thing. And I said, no pressure, but if you want to let me play, it would be great. So,
Cool.
Definitely.
it's going to be a fun Gen Con no matter what.
Yeah.
That's right, and we're up there for the Any Awards, so hopefully we'll get into the second round for the nominations.
Well, no, the nominations are not announced yet.
Not yet. Well, hopefully we're going to get
We
into
are
it.
submitted. We're in the list of submissions.
We got some steep competition this year.
It's good stuff.
We got
Probably-
not to say anything, but we have one of the podcasts. I can't think of it offhand, but it's the guy who ran the podcast that won the silver in 2009, the gold in 2010, and now he has another podcast.
Well, I don't know which one you're talking about, but I remember there was one that I saw in there that I listened to, and I was like, this is a really good podcast. So
Is YogSawtooth.com up there again? They probably are. They're the guys who do the Call of Cthulhu podcast.
No.
Oh, really? Because I know they won it.
And Jason, I know you were talking about the Save or Die podcast, correct?
yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. The best.
It was-
pod-
It was somebody new. I don't remember who, but anyways, the point is there's some good shows up there. I'll be totally happy if we get a nomination. That's all I care.
Yes. Remember, like the Academy Awards, we're just happy to be nominated. So
Well, no, I'm serious though. I mean, really, there's good stuff. So
Yeah.
I made sure to leave time to go to the awards ceremony to see who wins.
Friday night.
Although if we win, that's cool because we get to go walk up to our own music and dance around and be cool. But I don't know how it works. It'll just be fun to go.
Yes, I'll just knock Jason off the stage and walk up there.
I feel like fighting on the way up.
Yeah, I know.
gosh, if
Just
we
get
actually
Kathy
get
Griffin
nominated
to
for
award
that, I might have to go.
Well, there you go. Then we'll all play some games together too.
This might show up for the weekend. Who knows?
Yeah, Nick, you have to if we get into second round.
I know.
I'm excited. I've got my Amtrak tickets. I'm going to take the train to Gen Con. I got a sleeper car. It's gonna be so
sleeper
cool.
car?
Yeah, you can get a sleeper car on Amtrak still.
Oh, wow, really? I didn't know that.
You're
It's gonna be
brave
so
enough
much
just
fun.
take an Amtrak. I'm impressed.
Yeah, really.
That's fun. Amtrak's great. You can see the country.
Oh, I hope you pass all your safety throws.
Well, I'm staying in the hotel you stayed in the last time, the Westin.
Oh, good. It's a good place.
Yeah, I figured I could just walk down and play games right there. Boom.
Yeah, I got a hotel room in the new one that they just built because the prices were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I still have reservations over at the Omni just in case, and I won't cancel them for a while. So just like last year, if there's anybody that just wants one of the reservations, I can just give it to you. You know, if for some reason somebody didn't get a hotel room. I'm not going to sell them or anything silly like that. I'm just going to give them to anybody who wants one if they do.
So
if I show up, if we're nominated, I might have to take you up on that.
Okay.
Sweet.
I'm not paying for your hotel room.
No.
Reservation.
No.
Yeah. All right.
And I have 2 games running for Dead Game Society, 2 Basic Edition D&D games.
I saw them. I was like, woohoo, Basic Edition. Oh, yeah, Vincent. Oh, wait, I know this guy.
Yeah. One of them sold out already. The other one is still open.
I bet it's sold out by now.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it will. It'll fill up.
But I'm actually kind of surprised it's not in the Sagamore Ballroom.
Huh.
I was looking at it. It's in a different place. I think it's in the Marriott for some reason.
Oh, that's cool. The Sagamore Ballroom, that's the really big room where I had my game last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's too big. It'll be better if you get one of them.
Yeah, the Marriott's a good spot there. I remember that place.
Yeah. All right. So, and speaking about Gen Con, what's the perfect thing to get before Gen Con? A T-shirt.
Hey, what kind of T-shirt should they wear?
A nice one.
A clean one.
Yeah, a clean one, hopefully. Before the weekend's over.
Preferably with one that says "Roll for Initiative" on it.
Yes.
Could be cool. Do you have Save or Die T-shirts?
Oh yeah, we have 3 different types of Save or Die T-shirts.
So somebody could conceivably wear Roll for Initiative and Save or Die T-shirts and just be good for the whole week.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right.
So go grab your shirts. There's deals here and there, and we want to see people in shirts, wearing them, running around, promoting our podcast, as we will not be doing like last year.
Well, I'll go around with a what do you call that thing? Like a little field recorder, so I can at least, if you know what, how about this? I'd rather hear from people whether they liked those kind of segments last year, those little 5-minute here we are at Gen Con things. If they did, I'll do them again.
They were cool, but we don't need you I just opened my eyes for the first time and.
Oh yeah, we totally need that.
No, we don't. No, we don't need that. Come on.
How would you know otherwise what it's like to be there? You got to see it through my eyes. You got to taste the food through my teeth.
You got to see it, warts and all.
I was half expecting to hear. Now I'm going to the Gen Con bathroom. I was like, geez.
Oh yeah, Twittering for the bathroom.
All right, cool. So Gen Con 2011, we can't wait. We'll keep talking about it as it gets closer and closer. I think at the end of May is when they do any announcements, so we'll keep you updated on that. Nick.
Yes.
Stars.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we got 3 new stars. Not 3 new stars, but 3 new star reviews over on iTunes. And all 3 of them are 5-star reviews.
Oh, thank
you. From Buddha Brown. 0000456. And
wait, Buddha Brown 000456 or just 0000456?
Buddha Brown, comma 0000456 is another person.
Thank you.
And NPC Dave.
NPC Dave.
Nice.
Dave. And all 3 of those folks gave us 5-star reviews. Really enjoying the podcast. They say we sound professional, enthusiastic. So, in fact, NPC Dave is a 3.5 D&D guy. He really enjoys hearing about AD&D. He felt, how he's missing out in AD&D. So maybe he'll go back and start playing. So thank you all 3 of you for those 5-star reviews. We are up to 66 reviews in iTunes. And average rating is 5 stars.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Jason. Be a little more enthusiastic than that.
Woohoo.
Thanks.
Please contain yourself.
Yeah, really.
Actually, the one thing I did want to say, I'm going to check to see if we've hit the mark yet, but we were getting really close to the 100,000 download mark.
Ooh.
I don't know if we've passed it yet. There's no way to know who it is, so there's no need to try to do a contest or anything. But we're getting close. We've passed 97,000. We haven't hit 100,000 yet, so I'll let you know when that happens.
I bet you we'll peak again real big time around convention season because that's what happened last year.
Yeah, maybe. I tried to get some flyers around the Icon convention, so met a lot of good people there, by the way. That was my first time. That was an awesome convention.
And by the way, lucky you in yeah.
I know.
With Frank Metzer in the celebrity D&D game. That's like, winning.
So much fun. Seriously. That was a really fun. It was so cool. We had the whole thing set up around the table, and I mean, all the other guys were amazing players, like Cam Banks and Aaron Rosenberg and everybody else. And we were set around a table, and all these chairs were just like kind of surrounding us, like we're in a pit or something. And so we had the whole audience watching us play.
Oh, geez.
And it was really fun because we did like audience participation. So when we came up to certain things, we would turn to the audience and be like, "So what do we do here?" And every time they would send us headlong into danger, of course.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah.
It's not their character.
James Carpio, who was running the gamers guest track for Icon, was videotaping the whole thing, and I think he might have put it up on YouTube by now. I will check.
Yes, it is. It's up on YouTube. So
we'll stick it on the site.
A little bit of it. It's very cool. So somebody
blast.
sent a link to us, I think, on our Facebook page for that.
Oh, good.
So either look up on Facebook or maybe we can even link it back to our website. So anybody wants to watch the celebrity D&D game at Icon 30. So,
but I got to tell you, that convention is superb. Everybody who can get to it should go next year.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't go to that. I really wanted to.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Really cool crowd.
Frank Metzer. That would have been awesome.
And I won a cool little card game from Steve Jackson Games, too. I won a copy of Give Me the Brain, which is really seriously fun. You are zombies working in a fast food restaurant, and you only got one brain between you.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Well, I had a local con, Mepicon, recently came up the last time we had a show. And, that was fun. I still probably the biggest thing I scored was the Marvel Superheroes box set with all the original pieces and everything in it for like $10 in the auction.
Nice.
The regular one or the advanced set?
The advanced set. No one plays the basic one.
Yeah.
Who plays that? Come on.
Nah.
Yeah. All right. Let's head into Sage Advice.
Sage Advice.
So, Sage Advice this week, we actually have a couple voicemails. I strung them together so we could just play them all at once just for a time saver. And then you guys could just lay your comments in afterwards. And I'll hit that right now.
Hello, guys. Andreas here. I'm calling from Sweden. Since I've heard that you love to get these voice messages, I thought that maybe I should call in and give you something to play on the show. Want to say thanks for a great show. Been listening in since episode 1. Oh my God, you guys do have stamina, don't you? What is it? 48 or maybe when you play this, 49 shows? I don't understand how you can actually find that much to talk about, but hey, cool, I love it. Anyway, you were talking about martial arts in your 48, the 48th issue. And, well, being a martial artist myself, I thought I should call in and say, cool guys, like that. Always fun to hear someone else talking about one of the things you love, gaming, martial arts, all that. And you mentioned this about, oh my God, there's even a 5 animal style. It's a real style. Yes, indeed, it is. There's a lot of animal styles in Chinese martial arts. And since you mentioned sloth and panda, I thought I should mention that even though it's usually emphasized in movies for comedy and comic effect that, well, try to act like an animal, look, he's jumping around like a monkey, it's not always just acting out like an animal that's a big part of the animal styles. More often than not, the different animals are thought of representing a quality of the 5 elements in Chinese element. Like in Western culture, we have these 4 elements of fire and wind, water, earth. So in China, they have 5 elements instead, and how these elements manifest themselves in these animals. You try to emphasize that kind of element to do some stuff like, you say, you do jabbing motion and agile evasion. Not only are you acting like an animal, behaving like jumping around like a monkey, you're also trying to develop one of these 5 elements in your martial arts. So, well, for those who wanted to do, I just wanted to broaden the picture a little bit for those interested, since I thought it was good fun to hear you talk about it. And keep up the good work, guys, and hope to hear you talk a lot more about fun stuff we all like. So, game on, guys.
Hey guys, Silas here. First of all, I'd like to thank you for putting out such an amazing podcast. I stumbled upon it and I can't stop listening. Thoroughly hooked, and I appreciate it. I have an honest question. First edition, I've never played your podcast, clued me into the ins and outs of it. For that, I thank you. But what I want to know is why first edition and why now? I don't know if that question sounds sacrilegious, but hear me out. It just sounds unnecessarily cruel in a lot of ways. I mean, the deck's so thoroughly stacked against the party. Monsters with incredible arcane powers. I mean, a clay golem hits you, and you have to find a 17th level cleric to heal you? Come on. Really? Unbelievable. And I just don't know. I mean, it just seems like it would be a headache, you know? I mean, long-time gamer, never tried first edition, downloaded Osric and reading through it. I mean, my goodness. And Jason, my God, man. I would rather have Torquemada DM my games. You sound like a real peach. My goodness. I'm sure you're a great guy and everything, but everything that's horrific, you're like, yeah, I'll use it. What? No. The guy has saws for eyes? Yeah, sure. No problem. What? You polymorph into a chick? Yes, absolutely. I mean, come on. I don't know. Maybe I've been softened up by other games. Maybe I'm not as hardcore, but geez. Yeah. Anyway, keep up the great work, and every one of you guys is very talented, and we appreciate it. The product you put out, and keep up. Thanks.
Oh my God, he rocks.
That's awesome.
Hi fellas, it's Lass, and I have a question for the RFI podcast. In a game I played recently, it became painfully aware that some of these grognards have the Monster Manual 1 and 2, the Fiend Folio, and almost every supplement that has monsters in it, memorized front to back. And so when my poor GM threw out a Spirit Naga that was able to launch lightning bolts, it caused these players to lose their mind. So how do you keep your monsters exciting, despite the fact that people have been using these books for close to 30 years? And perhaps as a follow-up, how do you adjust your monsters for experience once you do toy with them? Thanks. Cheers.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Good voicemails this time around.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one about martial arts.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I'm glad, well, one, coming from Sweden, thank you so much for calling.
Well, first, how cool is it that somebody's been sitting in Sweden listening to all 49 shows?
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's awesome.
He's got stamina listening to us.
Yeah, really.
I know. You get 500 experience points just for that. So, yeah, that was really cool. I didn't realize that there was, when we were talking about like that 5 animal style, that it was actually tied into the Chinese view of the elements of the world, of the universe.
Like the Zodiac, you mean?
Well, in Western culture, it's the 4 elements: air, earth, fire, and water. And I forget Oriental cultures, it's wood.
Okay, well, I won't make you think of all 12.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's not Zodiac.
For the next 30 minutes, We will
It's
have
like the four elements that in
Nick
the old.
recites the elements.
Well, it's like the old view of the four elements: air, earth, fire, water. There's an Oriental variant of that, and I that was cool. I didn't know there was a link to that. I thought that was really interesting. He brought that up. So, and the second guy,
Dude, love him.
he's great.
Love him.
Yes, you have become soft. Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
His own question. I think he answered his own question.
Yeah,
Yes.
really.
He's drawn to us like a moth to a flame. He can't get away.
He is right, Jason. You're like, oh my god, that's really cool. You could do that. I'm using that.
Yeah.
That'll kill everyone.
It's not that we're killer DMs. It's just, I think it.
I am.
Well, goes without saying, but I think it's more of you gotta pose a challenge to the players and the characters that they have. There has to be some sort of element of danger. I mean, it's not like playing World of Warcraft where all of a sudden if you run into a bad problem and your character dies, where did I save?
Respawn.
Yeah, respawn. No.
Well,
there is reincarnation or resurrect, but
that's the thing I think I would say. It was Cyrus, right?
Yeah. Silas, from D20 Radio.
With an R? Cyrus with an R?
Silas.
Silas, sorry.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that when we're thinking about those, if you go back and look at the way that the books are written, for example, experience points, you actually get more experience points for getting treasure than for killing monsters.
Yep.
It's intentional. You're not supposed to fight everything you see. Sometimes you should run away.
Right.
And I think that's the appeal of it, is that this is, if you were actually, let's say, teleported into a fantasy world and had to, you've got some abilities now because you're buff and you've trained and done all these things, but you're still you're still a human being and you're trying to get through this world. You're not going to fight everything you see, and you're going to have to use your wits and try to survive in this really crazy world, and that's the appeal of these first edition games.
And even basic
And-
for that matter.
And also when
Basic D&D for that matter. It was you were running away from everything under the sun. I mean,
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, going back to the game we played that I got to play with Frank, so we're all about to go down this steep incline, and Frank's at the back, and he's like, I'm going to take a step backwards, just in case. And what do you know? He's the only one that didn't go flying down the incline into the trap.
Well, I think also when he's talking about defeating monsters, it actually, you shouldn't narrow it to a view of defeating a monster means actually killing it.
Right.
It could mean incapacitating it in some way, or even bypassing it somehow, the adventuring party. So you could still earn experience points by knocking it out or befriending the monster somehow. I mean, that's
Charming it.
Yeah, like charm monster spell or charm person. I mean, you still get experience points for using that the same way if you were going to kill the thing. So, kind of, there's a little bit of broadness of the term. You gotta, I hate to say this, got to think outside of the box.
Well, one more thing just to talk about how Frank was playing in the game. Before we headed out on the adventure, we were in town picking things up, and Frank said, I want to get a chisel and a hammer. And we're like, what is he going to do with this thing? And all of a sudden, we discovered all the clever things that he came up to do with a chisel and a hammer as we went through. It's about that kind of lateral thinking.
Yep, thinking outside of the box, absolutely.
So that's why now.
And Lass, with her
Good
stuff,
question.
I thought that was a great question. How to take all these monsters that we all know. I thought she was kind of referring it to me because it's like every time we do a review on monsters, I'm like, oh, I know what page that's on. Or
Yeah, I never do. I'm a great player because I forget everything.
yeah.
that's like, I know where every monster is in every manual. And
I'm like, a floating orb with eyes on stalks? I have no idea. What is it?
yeah, what is that? That's a cockatrice,
Copyright violation, right?
Yeah, that's a copyright. But there are ways you could do that. I forget which section in DMG where she was talking about how to kind of make basic monsters a little bit different, kind of throw the players a curveball, if you will.
It's easy.
You gotta.
It's
There
easy.
are there are ways that you can do that. There's a chart, the XP chart in the DMG, where you could, like, I guess you could, if you want to give monsters exceptional abilities or something like that, you can, and there's a way you can base the experience point range off of that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as, like, what special abilities and things you can give them, could be
sky's the limit.
Yeah. I do know of one.
Make it interesting and make it fit your campaign.
Right. Now,
Definitely.
I do know of one book that you could do that. I don't know if it's it might be hard to come by. But you can use it for first edition, AD&D. I use it for my Hackmaster game, and it's called the Monster Matrix. And there's a really cool section in there where you can do all these different variant abilities to basic monsters, like giving them, I don't know, iron skin, giving them, giving them ability to fly. There's like a Jurassic variant.
Yeah.
You know, it's a prehistoric variant of a monster. In fact, last time I used something like that, I haven't lived it down for years because I made hobgoblins that were one-eyed Venusian red hobgoblins. And the Venusian variant is they explode when they die 75% of the time. But
Excellent. What was this book?
It's called the Monster Matrix.
Yeah.
And it's for the Hackmaster 4th edition game. And
Very cool.
Yeah, there's really cool stuff in there. If you could find it out there on eBay, I recommend it. It's still out there. Or if you go to the con, you could get it. You can get it for cheap.
Is it out of print?
Yeah, all the 4th edition stuff is technically out of print, but you can still find it out there.
Who put it out?
Kenzer and Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you could probably find it out there. I would check at Gen Con or at Origins.
No joke, the best place to find places to adjust monsters, and you guys are going to laugh hysterical.
Okay.
Pokemon.
I am going to laugh hysterically.
You know what?
I
could understand that.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about. You got to tell me.
Pokemon, it was the kids' cartoon card trading game, and each of the monsters had various different special abilities. So you could pretty much take a D&D monster, go to, I think it's Pokemon.com. I don't know what the website is, but you can go online and find out, and you could find a monster equivalent and assign the same type of powers to that monster.
Huh.
And it still would be legal within the game, just to change it up.
That's very cool.
Like I had a fox that was looked like a regular fox in my Quest for the Book of Sorrows, except he did a lightning grasp every time he touched the people with his paws.
Sure.
I would
have never thought of that. That is actually a really good tip.
He only did 1d3 points of damage, but still it was something different.
Yeah. And you never know. I mean, depending on how he's doing that damage, that could really mean something.
There is one other supplement I remember. It's from Goodman Games, and I have it right here in my hands. You can still get it from them, I think. It's called the Random Esoteric Creature Generator, where you can make randomly created creatures. It's by James Edward Raggy IV. James Raggy. I don't know if some of you guys seen some of his stuff out there. But if you don't want to make random monsters, but you could take some of the stuff out of here and use it to regular monsters, maybe like giving a regular monster wings, tentacles, horns, jumping, levitating, other special abilities that you could do to regular monsters. Maybe giving those orcs the ability to fly. I don't know.
Or if you don't have all those books, you could always just take any two monsters from the standard books and just mix them up. Just take a couple abilities from one and give them to the other.
Sky's the limit.
Just make sure they're at the same hit dice, and you probably won't even have to think too much about it.
Sounds like a good idea. Take the advice and write us. rfistaff@gmail.com.
Send us some cool new monsters.
Yeah, send us some monsters, definitely. Or go to the forums and write us up and tell us what you think. And let's head into an oldie but goodie segment called The Library next.
Close your eyes and tell me what you see.
The library.
Hey, we're back at the library, and this week we're going to talk about...
Dusty in here.
Yeah. There we go. Let me get this VHS tape out from the. Or was it a Betamax? It's hard to tell.
I got Beta.
Track tape.
Oh, well, let's watch the Betamax.
Okay.
So this week we watched The Dungeon Masters, which is a new documentary that has actually been making the circuits a bit. It was here at the Tribeca Film Festival, and I saw that they're playing it on Hulu. It's not. Oh, I guess it's not that new. It's a couple of years old, but it's just kind of making the rounds again. So I was kind of looking forward to a documentary about Dungeon Masters. It follows 3 different gamers through their lives a bit. I was a little disappointed because I totally dug the fact that it was a very character-driven thing, following people and looking at their lives and everything. But I thought it was a little bit of a kind of a one-dimensional, stereotypical view in terms of the way they chose to show these people.
It was embarrassing, Jason. Come on. I was embarrassed to watch that, and I want my money back, even though I didn't pay anything for it.
I wasn't. No. I mean, there was. I think if you watch it and you know gamers, you're in the scene, you can understand the people that are there. And as far as I'm concerned, if they had chosen to edit a different way, that they would have come across very differently.
Yeah. When I watched it yesterday, watched the whole thing, and at the end of it, my initial reaction at first was like, oh my God, what have I been doing with my life? I want to give up gaming forever.
Right, because it doesn't really make being a gamer look very good.
No, it doesn't make it look very appealing at first. No. But you know what? I walked away from it. I took some time to think about it, and I'm like, yes, I think initially somebody could be offended by a film like this, but you know what? Because it makes you think about the film. At least I started to think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I've known people like this in one variation or another my whole life in gaming culture. And at one point or another, I look at some of these people, I'm like, I could have been that guy. I could have been that person there if I'd gotten a little too involved, a little too much into it. But you know what? Overall, I thought it was okay because they're just people like anybody else. I kind of looked at the context of, what if this was a documentary about, I don't know, real big football fans or baseball fans. There are extremes in any subculture. And I think this shows some of the extremes in our particular subculture. And I thought it was, one, very courageous of these people to be in this documentary in the first place.
Well, I don't know if they knew how they were going to get edited.
Yeah, I don't think
True, but still, it took a little bit of. I think it took a bit of courage to do so. Yeah, and I think also for the fact that maybe because they're comfortable in who they are and what they do, but like you're saying, how it was maybe edited and presented, it can be somewhat portrayed as a negative thing. So I got mixed feelings about it myself.
As far as filmmaking goes, first of all, the actual filmmaking is very impressive.
Oh yeah, it's superb.
Really
it's
masterful documentary.
Done. Yeah,
there was this scene where Richard was clearing out all of his game books, and he was like deciding what he was going to throw out, and then you also see him like clearing his shrubbery and like cutting it with the chainsaw and everything, and they do a really good job of kind of juxtaposing the two and using one as the metaphor for the other. There was good stuff like that.
Yes, there was.
And if you look past now, first of all, what I think the intent was to have sort of a story arc for each of these 3 people, because each person. So we had Scott Korm, Richard Meeks, and Elizabeth Reisman were the 3 DMs that were featured in this, and each one had some kind of a struggle or some kind of a flaw that they were trying to overcome.
Yeah.
And I think the good thing about it, so there was Scott with his writing, trying to write his novel, and Richard with his own kind of personal issues about how he would sort of run away from things, like he talked about, abandoning his family at one point. And then, of course, Elizabeth with her relationship issues, trying to find a good relationship that she could be strong.
Just finding her way in the world, essentially.
Yeah, and I liked that because by the end, you really felt like they had grown as people, each one of them. Yeah. Some more than others. Right. I won't say anything about what happens with Scott's book, but I mean, with the way that he managed to put his cable access show together, and you watch all of that, and he's clearly a leader when you see him around the other people. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's something about being a DM is you have to be good at organizing and kind of leading people through good things. And the way he puts his TV show together, he's obviously somebody who tries something. He works hard at it. He has goals. He works towards them. He gets other people to go towards them. I was impressed with all three of the people in this show as people.
I was too. And but
like Richard
on the other
Meeks,
end,
he's – yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but just on the opposite side, though, yes, he's working very well on his novel, the one fellow who's working on his novel, but on the opposite side, he's barely eking out an existence for himself in the real world.
Yeah, but if you think about it, yes, that's true. But, I mean, if you went and did a documentary of, say, like Vincent van Gogh or somebody, or, Ernest Hemingway – if you watch, and I'm not trying to say these guys are, Ernest Hemingway, but if you watch a creative artist, somebody who's really focused on their art, it sometimes impacts the rest of their life. That's the way it actually goes.
You have a very good point there. That is true.
I don't think that Ernest Hemingway would have come across too well in a documentary. I don't think that John Steinbeck would come across too well in a documentary.
Right.
And I for Richard Meeks, for example, okay, so you see some of his flaws, but he's going to be DMing several games at Gen Con this year, and I was really excited that I'm going to be playing in one of his games because he looks like a great DM.
Yeah, I think I've run it. When I saw the name, it just sounded familiar to me for some reason. I'm not sure why, but maybe because of reputation as a DM before even the movie. Because I remember Richard Meeks. I know that name. I don't know why, but
I think they could have chosen different subjects. They could have chosen people that made the gaming hobby look better. Yeah. They could have chosen people that who cleaned their houses a little bit better. Who cleaned their fingernails before they did a close up. I mean, that's not nice to say, but I mean that's the way that they shot it. But at the same time, I think if we want to see a really good documentary, I think somebody from within the scene is going to have to do it.
Yeah, I think as far as overall documentaries on gaming subculture, this is probably the most professionally done one I've seen. And
there hasn't been
it's a no nonsense, in your face.
Oh yeah.
Look at gaming subculture. So, I mean, I'll put it out there, everybody. Be prepared to maybe be a little bit
cringy,
offended.
Yeah.
You might
see yourself in it a little bit and see a part of yourself you don't like. But you know what? You might also see a good part of yourself. And the trouble is, they show it from an outsider's perspective. I mean, like, come on, did we really? You got to go to LARPing every single time. I know it's interesting to show on TV and maybe somebody's going to laugh at it in the theater, but that's not the whole culture. And, when that same – nothing against LARPers. I mean, honestly, I think it's a fun hobby for the people that do it. It's not my thing, but I don't ever put anybody down for doing something creative and fun. But when Elizabeth in the documentary said, all D&D players play World of Warcraft. I mean, come on. That's an outsider's viewpoint.
I know. I've never played World of Warcraft. Never have.
Yeah.
I have, but that doesn't mean every player has.
Right. Exactly.
Nonetheless, it was still a well-done thing. I think it's worth seeing. I think that what it really tells us is we need somebody from within the scene who's got these kind of filmmaking skills to do something.
Yeah, I agree. Got anything, Vince, on this one? Anything else?
No, I'm just cringing in the corner, that's all. I did not like this movie.
Oh, well. To each their own, I guess. So.
Well, I recommend that anybody go check it out at least once.
Well, what was it that you didn't like? I mean, honestly.
I just didn't like the way they portrayed the characters and the way the characters were. They just irked me. Ugh.
Yeah.
Those people are too extreme for me.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I agree. Me too.
I mean, I'm a gamer. I love to play. I'll play whenever someone is, but I'm not going to walk around like these people. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, and I think a good point I think you're trying to make is just like when a person who knows nothing about this subculture, but they want to learn more, they're like, they'll see this film and they'll go, is it how like everybody is? No, of course not. So, but they don't know that. They think maybe everybody is like these three people here, at least one form or another. So, yeah, I could see it could really portray gamers and the gaming subculture again as something that is really weird and just really bizarre. So,
yeah, I don't know. Just the one guy, I can't think of his name. Was it Richard? Well, we had said how he killed his whole entire party over some situation through the spear portal or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Sphere of Annihilation. Yes.
It was just I killed them, and then I told him to take my character sheets and hands me. Everybody got up, packed their dice, and they left. I said, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah, I was a little kind of like, "Why would you do that?" I mean, it's a game, Just because their characters die, it doesn't necessarily mean you should cut off your friendship with them too. It seems like that's what he was doing.
Yeah, it's like pretty much just like you guys stink. Get out.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, tell us what you think about the movie. rfistaff@gmail.com, and we'll head into our next segment.
Typical. Of all the evil creatures in the world, I had to find one with table manners.
What are you kidding me? I spent years cultivating the worst table manners on the planet.
Table manners.
Okay, our next segment is table manners, and this week we're going to talk about dice, specifically regular dice versus dice rollers, like dice roller applications, programs,
like the ones or the ones you find in your iPhone or BlackBerry.
Right, exactly. What the differences are, the preferences, and are they a distraction? So, dice versus dice rollers. The difference, obviously, one's real, one's not.
Yeah, so, one's virtual, one's real. Yeah.
Yes, one's virtual, one's real. I have checked out a few die rollers. I have one on my iPod, and I have used ones in the past like that, which came with the AD&D Core Rules book, if you remember that Core Rules CD that came out years ago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's a die roller on that, die rolling application on that.
Do you mean the Dungeon Master Assistant?
No, the AD&D Core Rules CD that came out for 2nd edition.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I know there's die roller Java apps online.
Yeah.
So, I personally prefer regular dice because I don't know. I just like the feel of them. I like rolling the dice right there. But if you don't have your dice and you need to use something in a pinch, I think the applications that you could get for your iPhone, or I'm sure they have them for the Droid.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Ones you can find online for, on people's websites. I mean, those are fine too. If you don't have the dice around, sure, why not use them? But,
I could disagree with you there.
Well, what if you don't have your dice?
Then you borrow dice or you don't play. That's the situation there at hand.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with someone using a die roller if it was just the one time they forgot their dice, and if we didn't have any dice to loan them, maybe. But I don't know.
No, we always have loaner dice. We call them loaner dice. There's always a box of loaner dice in case you forget your dice. And if you happen to forget your dice, you're stuck with the loaner dice for that night.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll roll well for you.
Exactly.
I mean, overall, I prefer regular dice
over
the generators that you can find online. So
I think they're too distracting because you're sitting there punching in numbers. You have to sit there and wait instead of just roll roll d20 to attack. You roll. You got the person. You're okay. 1d20 roll.
Right. You like roll your dice. Well, I got.
Oh, the app froze. Hold on.
Yeah, I gotta restart. Oh, darn it!
And then you got these.
Are we using?
Yeah. Then you got these people playing on the laptops who have it on their laptops, which is fine.
Right.
And then they're sitting there clicking and playing around, cruising websites and
playing Bejeweled Blitz on Facebook.
Bejeweled Blitz.
I know I had to bring that up.
Yeah, thanks.
But they can be a distraction, and I don't know if there's. I always have a feeling that, like, with some of the apps and things like that, maybe just like, oh my God, this person could cheat. This person could cheat because you can't really see the die roll.
Yeah,
you have to go by what they're saying generally. Like they have their little. I have an iPod. If I was using the die generator, like if I'm like rolling to hit, oh yeah, got a natural 20. Oh, another natural 20. Who's to say if you're not saying, hey, can I look at that roll on your screen? You gotta have to take their word for it.
Yeah, true.
I think it's kind of an honesty thing too, because like with regular dice, there's no question. Generally, the die roll is right in front of everybody's face. Generally, even as a DM, at least for me, I make virtually every single die roll. I try to make a conscious effort to make the die roll in front of the players, not behind the screen. So,
well, as a DM, I always keep rolls private because I feel that's a DM's right to do that.
Well, yeah, there's some I do behind the screen. It might be like a certain type of reaction thing, NPC wise or something, but like. Combat rolls, I make them all in front of everybody.
Well, I don't like doing that because then you can't fix the numbers the way you want them to fix. So,
I don't play that way.
I do.
I let the dice fall where they may.
No, but you can't do that all the time, dude. Sometimes you have to not give that 20 out.
Let the fudge in it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to. I mean, you're doing it.
Say I haven't.
Doing it your way, I mean, dude, you're rolling in front of the players, boom, 20 up, you gotta take the damage now because you saw it. If I roll behind my screen, I could say, oh, he missed horribly or something.
Well, I don't know. I let the dice fall where they may most of the time. Sometimes I'll maybe fudge, but most of the time, wherever they go, they go. So, that's how I generally play it. But I think, overall, though, I think we can both agree that we prefer real dice to the die rolling programs.
Yes, definitely. I know if Jason was here, who was actually had to step out because he had some technical difficulties with his connection, he was starting to sound like a robot, so he wanted to drop out. He would definitely go with dice, too, because he doesn't like the whole computer distraction. He thinks it's kind of annoying if you listen to some of the things he said in the past. So
Yeah. So what do you folks think on using either dice or die rollers? Let us know at RFI Podcast, and if you know any good applications, or if you have any personal real dice preferences, let us know. So,
or give us a voicemail at 570-865-4210, the Roll for Initiative hotline.
The hotline.
Or join us on Facebook, where we're getting closer to almost 1,000 fans. So
really, 1,000?
Yeah, last I looked, we were close to 900. So
nice. All right. I don't know if we got any more on this one. I think we beat the dice bag dead here.
Dude.
So let's. I guess we'll move on to our next segment.
Sure.
Creature, theater.
So we're in the Creature Feature Theater tonight.
Yep.
And we got a pretty nasty little bugger tonight. The Guardian Damon, or Demon.
Yes, the Guardian Matt Damon.
No, it's not Matt Damon.
Kind of looks like it.
What?
No, the Guardian, is it Damon?
Damon. It really means demon, but you can.
Yeah.
Most people say Damon.
Yeah, but he's the feed folio, page 49.
Our favorite place to go to.
Yeah, I like this creature. Just to kind of give a brief rundown for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This creature resembles either anywhere between a type 2 or type 4 demon, large bears, or wild cats, and they are summoned by evil high priests to protect a treasure.
Yes.
And what some of the abilities they're immune to charm, hold, sleep, polymorph, or fear. They are immune to non-magical weapons, and if they're hurt by magical weapons, it has to have a +2 or better.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, at least. They understand all languages, and they can breathe fire.
Whoa.
30-foot long cone, 10-foot base diameter, 5 to 30 hit points of damage. And I guess they can breathe that as many times as they wish. And they have pretty good melee attack, 3 attacks per round. Let's see. They have a bite that's 1 to 6 and 2 claws for 1 to 12.
Ooh.
So the only thing, and they can move 9 inches, on the grid, or 90 feet, but they cannot move anywhere beyond that because they're bound by the summoner of the Guardian to protect this particular treasure and area around it.
So did the magic user drop an egg on the ground when this came out? Because the pictures came out of an egg shell.
Yeah, it looks like, I guess part of the summoning is it comes out of an egg. So an evil high priest, so this is like a cleric kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but the only thing I'm a little perplexed by is its alignment.
Yeah.
It's neutral. And I'm reading through this. Oh, yeah, okay. Hit dice. Yeah, hit dice 8. Okay. Armor class 1. Number appearing is 1 to 3, by the way.
Yeah.
So it could be more than 1. Then, in alignment, neutral?
Well, maybe it's neutral because it stays there until you attempt to do something to it.
Well, it's a guardian demon. I would expect it like neutral evil.
Well, it's probably not neutral evil because it's guarding a treasure. So if you happen to walk by and not touch the treasure, it probably just stares at you.
But it's summoned by evil high priest.
I know, but still.
I would run it as a neutral evil creature.
I would run it actually as it says, neutral. I would leave it at you see it and it looks at you as like a bodyguard. It stands there and watches. The moment you touch something, it goes after you.
Doesn't mean it can't be an evil bodyguard.
An evil bodyguard?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
It's evil, it's guarding a treasure. It's evil. It's summoned by an evil high priest. It resembles maybe either a type 2, 3, or 4 demon, depending on what flavor you want out there. So I would kind of run it as a neutral evil. That's how I would. I mean, because it's summoned. It looks kind of like a demon, but it's from the neutral evil plane. I forget which one that is. It's like where the Demodans, I think, come from. There's the out of Monster Manual too. They're called daemons.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're all neutral. The Arcana demon, and you know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I would run it as they come from that same realm they are, and hence that's why my thinking of that they could be neutral evil. That's the only thing that kind of threw me off. But
yeah, I could see where that would probably throw you off by looking at this and saying,
should be evil.
But its intelligence says very, so I would definitely use this as a roleplay opportunity as well as a combat opportunity.
Oh, sure. How would you run this creature in itself? How you see using this creature?
Well, like I said, I would use it as a silent bodyguard of the treasure or whatever it's guarding.
Uh-huh.
And the moment the players got too close, he would warn them.
Yeah.
I would use it more like that. And I would definitely use it as a roleplay opportunity before a combat opportunity. I'm more of a roleplay before combat person, so.
Right. I would do something like that too. In the environment I could see this in is definitely like an evil temple. Use to guard the horde of the evil temple.
You just like throwing that evil word around today, don't you?
Well, it's a daemon. It's a demon. Evil high priestess summons it.
Maybe an evil petting zoo?
Yes, evil petting zoos. But it could be maybe an old abandoned temple of some type devoted to some dark, forgotten god, and it's still bound there. Maybe it has a couple of friends. You know, it says number appearing is 1 to 3. So
you know, it'd be kind of cool that this guardian demon there is guarding a treasure, but the treasure disappears, and he's still bound there, thinking the treasure is still there.
Or would it go with the treasure?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Well, let's just go with it stays there, and the treasure is gone.
Okay.
And then the players happen to stumble into this old room, dusty, and then they go and boom, he pops out, no treasure, he sees them. Uh-oh.
Yeah, now what?
Yeah, now what is right? Who stole the treasure?
Yeah, who stole the treasure?
Brother.
Did you take it? Yeah. He gets all mad.
Yeah.
He's accusing them. So, yeah, that would be an interesting role-play situation.
And referring back to Lash's email, voicemail, how will we make this any different? I don't know if we really can make this any different, this creature.
No, it has some pretty good built-in abilities in itself. And it has some variants involved, at least its form, because it could look like various different types of demons in itself.
I would change it, probably its appearance, most likely, just to make it look something different.
Yeah, I would change its appearance every time. No two is going to look alike. So, other than that, I wouldn't really see any way of like changing it up too much. It's pretty good as it is. Yeah. So.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I got that one all. Yeah, that's good.
Tell us what you think. rfistaff@gmail.com, and we'll head into our final segment of the night.
The Dragon's Horde.
The Dragon's Horde.
Here we are, Dragon's Horde. Rawr. And this time we're going to be looking at a particular interesting magical item, the Cloak of Displacement.
And you hate this one, don't you, Nick?
Yes, I do. I have a reason why. Well, let's talk about the description of this thing. You find this cloak. It apparently can warp light around it. Distorts and warps light around this cloak, whoever wears it.
Yeah.
And whoever wears it, they appear either in the book it says 1 to 2 inches, which calculates 10 to 20 feet from where they actually were. So it's almost like I would think this cloak was like made of the skin of a displacer beast. That's always kind of figured it.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
So you know how a displacer beast is. So any attack by missile or melee strike, which is aimed at the wearer, will automatically miss the first time. Thereafter, the cloak offers a +2 protection to the person and +2 to their saving throws. And the interesting thing about this cloak is where it says of the missile or melee strike.
Yeah.
Automatically miss the first time. There's a little asterisk. It says this can apply to first attacks from multiple opponents only if the second and successive attackers weren't able to observe the initial displacement miss. So that means that there was multiple attackers and they were watching, and the first attack of one of them misses, the other ones they could still hit. So, but the reason why I hate this magic item, there is a character in one previous campaign, a knight by the name of Sir Stern Keenblade, and he came across, I think they were going through the Slave Lord series,
right?
Module adventures, and one of the magic items was a Cloak of Displacement. And he was able to pick this up. And this magic item, as a DM, gave me such a headache after a while because I would forget that he had this magic item.
Yeah.
And I recall a time where they went up against, I think it was an ogre mage he had a pole arm. The ogre mage did a critical hit. I'm rolling everything up. And then Adam, who's the player of Sir Stern, he goes, he missed. I go, what do you mean he missed? I mean, I just rolled it. And then I remember, I'm like, that damn cloak. No!
Yeah.
I was so It was so frustrating. I'm like, and ever since then, I kept on saying, one way or another, I'm going to have that cloak destroyed. It's going to be burnt by fire, by acid. I don't know. It's going to be destroyed. I'm sick of that cloak. So
definitely a DM headache if you forget about it.
Oh my God, yeah. But it kind of was like a running gag kind of thing. In fact, there was the point where they ran into a white dragon, and the dragon does an attack against I think it was either a claw or a tail attack. Did quite a bit of damage, and he goes, "It missed." I'm like, what do you mean, cloak? I'm like, go, go.
Yeah, go.
But for a player, awesome magic item.
Yeah, player good, DM bad.
Yes. I mean, have you had any players or experienced this as a DM? Whoever used this cloak at this displacement?
Nah, I've never used a cloak at displacement. I would never use it. I don't think I would ever give this out knowing what it does.
Yeah, give the example. You can understand why. It was just too funny when I'm rolling up all the damage and the critical hit chart and everything, and I do it all like, yeah, you take blah, blah, blah amount of damage. And he goes, no, I don't. I go, why? It missed. Why? Because I have the cloak.
No, darn you, cloak.
Yes, curse you forever.
Men evolve from Oh, sorry.
Apes evolve from men. Yeah, that's my experience with it, and so yeah, it's a cool item. Don't get me wrong. Just as a DM, don't forget whoever has it, that first attack is gonna miss automatically.
Yeah.
So let us know how you've used this magic item, or how it's appeared in your campaign. If you have funny stories of a cloak of displacement being used, so let us know what's our email address again?
rfistaff@gmail.com.
rfistaff@gmail.com.
Yes, not rfi.com, .nick, whatever else you said the last time.
.org, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's rfistaff@gmail.com. I'll get that burned into my memory, hopefully, very, very soon. So let us know what you think. Or, like we said, we're on Facebook. Go to our website. Let us know what you think.
Dragon's Foot, everywhere. We're all over the place.
We're all over the place. We just have no focus anymore.
No.
So I guess we'll go to the end here.
Yeah, the 10-foot pole time.
Yes, 10-foot pole.
Ooh, one of those electronic voting dealies.
So the 10-foot pole this week is a monster battle royal, man.
Oh, yeah. Taking you down.
Yeah. So we got the monster battle royal this week, pitting up 5 classic monsters against each other in a ring. And who's going to come out the victor, the winner, on top of everybody else? So we have the orc, the zombie, the kobold, the giant rat, and the goblin.
And I have to tell you, I'm not surprised at the final result right now.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm a little bit surprised at who came in second and so on.
Yeah. Well, let's include the people in as of right now. Leading with 44% of the votes is the orc.
The orc is, yes, number 1. Number 2 is
the zombie.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that the zombie is number 2 on our in our battle royale here.
29% of the votes.
Yeah. Number 3 is what?
A kobold.
Yeah, the kobold.
16% of the votes. And then we got the giant rat with 9% and the little lonely gobby with 2% and only 2 votes.
I would think goblin would be higher. I thought it'd be higher than the kobold, honestly.
I honestly voted for the kobold there.
I think I voted for orc.
Yeah.
So but I'm like goblin at the very bottom. I thought kobold or giant rat would be at the bottom, to tell you the truth.
I would think giant rat would be, but goblin should be up there at number 2.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Zombie, its special ability, it's undead.
It just goes boo and it hits. That's about it. And then it falls apart.
It's immune to charm. It's immune to cold. It's immune to poison. So it has those things going for it. But the downside is a zombie. They always attack last in the round, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So So if you do initiative, you don't have to worry about it. They always attack last, which I remembered from last night's game, which was too much chagrin.
Huh.
But it's a cool poll.
Definitely.
Yep.
And then that's going to wrap things up this week. Go to the website. We have our forums, comment there. We have our special insert number 4 with Frank Menser, remembering Gary Gygax that Jason did with him at Icon.
Yeah. I highly recommend that. Everybody listen to that. Great interview.
The picture, every time I look at the picture, I think it's Santa Claus in the picture, the way he has it pictured up there with Frank Menser.
Yeah.
Because it's like a side view close up, and it's just glasses, gray hair, and the beard.
Yes. What do you want for Christmas, little boy?
I want Gen Con tickets.
I want a new D20.
Anyway, so definitely go to Gen Con 2. We want to see you there. I got my 2 games going on. Oh, and if you're a listener of the Save or Die podcast, they have a contest coming out right now. And, Nick, you're eligible since you're not part of the Save or Die crew.
Oh, what is this contest?
This contest is a monster encounter contest. You go right to the Save or Die webpage, and I'll read the official contest rules because we wanted to spread this out. It is take one encounter using a monster published from Classic D&D as published in TSR Works. So any TSR or Classic D&D monster, write an encounter using that monster, minimum of 400 words, and has to have one plot hook.
Huh.
And you have to send it in via email to saveordiepodcast@gmail.com by May 31st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will pick 3 winners. You may enter more than once, but only one entry will be considered for the prize. And the grand prize is a deluxe edition of The Lamentation of the Flame Princess.
Oh, cool.
And then runner-up will be, I forgot, we were going to give out some modules and other little fun things like that.
Neato. I might have to do this.
Yep, and the creature will be published on the Save or Die website as a free download for various people.
Void prohibited. Offer not available in a free city of Greyhawk.
Yeah. Offer not valid at Nick's hometown.
Hey!
Oh, okay. Yeah, so check them out and listen to Save or Die Podcast because they have a great host there, too.
Yes, they do. Oh, yeah, that's you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, let's head out this week and keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Roll for initiative.